Before you guys watch our first episode of our podcast, Talking Nonsense, we did not mention our schedule for these podcasts, which is going to be every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So wherever you live, if you don't know what Eastern Time is, search it up on Google, 3 p.m. Eastern Time every Wednesday. So lock that into your calendar. Enjoy.
I have a bunch of freaking ideas for we could do like a mukbang, just like smacking food in the freaking mic while we talk.
I think we need a very high quality audio thing, whatever. You know the ones that literally look like an ear? Those are weird.
Yeah.
Those are so weird.
Oh yeah, the
People with like fetishes to speak into people's ears.
I freaking
Come at me.
I know exactly what you're talking about. God dang it.
I'm close.
Sheesh.
Alright, let's get this started with. What's happening, people? Welcome to the Talking Nonsense Podcast. This is going to be our episode number 1. This is the first one that we are officially doing, so welcome aboard. Quick disclaimer before we even begin, which we'll actually have it at the beginning of the video, but this is a very sensitive podcast. We don't consider ourselves, at least, like other podcasts where they tend to hold things back because they don't know how other people are going to take it. We're going to be completely honest on this podcast. We're going to give our thoughts, our opinions, maybe on sensitive matters, maybe not. But if you're someone that gets offended very easily and basically have very thin skin, suggest going to another channel because might be pretty controversial or offensive to many people, which we know we will, especially with the topic that we have today, which we feel is a good topic to actually start on for the podcast, which is gender. Our opinions on gender and how we feel about it, which this is going to be a lot of fun because I see myself as, well, us, I guess, very different compared to the accepting world that we live in nowadays, or how things are changing when it comes to gender. So again, if you get offended, if you're transgender, you should leave. You should probably not be
unless you're open-minded.
Unless you're open-minded.
We're not saying, just because we disagree with certain things, certain ideals, it doesn't mean we're gonna, straight up disrespect them, in person or bully them. We're not about that. But we just have our own ideals, and that, we just want to share it, some things we just don't like, some things okay, weird. Sometimes we make jokes about it, who cares? Right? There's no politically correct. There's not going to be any politically correct things in this podcast. So, if it doesn't matter. We're just going to speak nonsense. We're just going to talk just to talk. Okay. We like to hear ourselves talk, basically. Okay. And if you like to hear us talk, subscribe, like,
Insta plug. Real quick before we actually go on with this. This is an anonymous podcast, meaning you, the viewer, do not know who we are, where we come from, what our names are. We are actually going to go by military alphabet names for us. So me speaking right now, I am going to be called Charlie. Alpha over there is going to be called Alpha. And then we also have Alpha. A Bravo that will eventually chime in here and there, but me and Alpha are kind of the main, and then we're going to have a lot of people on it, like friends of ours that'll... Bravado, that's Bravo. Eventually come in and out so we can have more people to talk about these conversations. Sure. But it is going to be anonymous, which I actually, quick off topic, realized that I feel like a lot of people are going to go with the idea that we're going anonymous because maybe we're afraid that people are going to find about who we are, and then we don't want to take on people's opinions if they're offended or not.
Yo, okay, listen. If I ever get canceled for some stupid crap like this, I ain't apologizing, okay? Okay, hold on. I get so annoyed when I see people that have strong beliefs and ideals, and they get canceled, right? And they get so much hate, which is freaking bullcrap. It pisses me off. They get so much hate, and then they end up saying sorry, and then they force, they change their ideals to the public, because they don't want to get canceled. I think that's so stupid because we all know deep down inside they still believe what they believe, but they like, cower down to the internet and
Yep.
then, show that they change their beliefs. I think it's so stupid. It's happened to so many like YouTubers, TikTokers, and I feel so bad because, sometimes they eventually stop making content or like they take like the longest break or like it really affects them mentally because all this constant bullying, it's just like a trend to cancel people for like not believing in what you believe and having different opinions. It's so annoying, and I see it all the time.
Which I guess is a very good explanation as to basically why we are anonymous. Just because we kind of don't want to deal with the headache, especially knowing for a fact that we are going to offend some of you because we kind of live in a world now where people are extremely weak. So that's kind of why we're anonymous. If you want to talk crap in the comments and you're just not going to go to another channel, then you can go screw yourself as well. But we're just going to give our opinions, and it's going to be very controversial. So going back into the topic of the day, which is gender. I feel like a good place to... I just dropped something. I feel like a good place to start will be kind of the basics of gender, which I kind of saw because, like I mentioned a couple days ago, I rewatched Steven Crowder, is that his name? Videos on like there's only two genders, changed my mind, which a big controversy, I guess, or thing that people say, like a lot of people that consider themselves like binary or whatever the frick, they say that gender and sex are two completely different things because gender comes from like your XY chromosomes or whatever when you're born, which makes you who you are, and then your sex is like who you are, which I personally see it as the same thing, male and female, which, to give my opinion, I believe that there are only two genders. Not believe, I know, because there's only two. Only two. Only male and female.
So sex is what? Sexuality? Like what they think they are? And gender is what you really are?
So I think the way people take it is that gender is how you identify yourself. And then sex is what you are. Is how I see it. So if I were to actually search up like sex definition,
yeah, I mean, we can do some.
So it says sex refers to biological differences between males and females, such as the genitalia and genetic differences. Gender is more difficult to define, but it can refer to the role of a man or female in society. So sex is basically if you have a penis or vagina, and then a gender is more of like how you identify yourself. Which
okay, so I mixed that. Okay,
mixed it which up. I feel like the world that we live in now, people have just made it way too complicated because it's true. There's so many new variants that are coming out nowadays, which is like honestly interesting because I always like the idea of first of all, to be completely honest, I personally do not know. Maybe it's like something's messed up in their head, maybe they went through some trauma or something, but I don't know how you can be born with a penis and then just be like, Mom, I want a vagina. I don't know where that transitions is, which I actually saw where someone says that he thinks gender is a behavioral thing, where it's not necessarily physical, it's just they feel that way, so they want to make the transition, which I don't think makes any sense.
Yeah, it's such like a weird I think it's really weird because there's quite a few transgenders that kind of regret their decision, and it ends up like just mentally just like messing them up and like scarring them because then some try to re-transition, and it's just really weird, and even people that go far enough to like change their genitalia is like, holy frick, dude, I didn't even realize that existed until like recently. And this world is getting kind of not to be dramatic, but it's kind of getting scary because now you don't really know who's who, right? They can straight up lie to you and say, hey, I've been a girl in my life, because I believe I'm a girl in my life, so I'm just gonna say, hey. And some people believe that's none of their business, like their significant other, it's not their business to know like what they were because they don't believe that they were what they were, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
That's a good thing to
I don't know what I'd do if I got with a transgender, bruh. Like,
that's the biggest thing that I actually want to talk about as well is what would you do if you were in that situation? Because it's true. I feel like mainly more with men because I feel like men have more of a possible bone structure to be more feminine than a girl to have a bone structure that seems more like a male. And what I mean by that
yeah.
is there's a lot of guys that have transitioned that straight up look like a girl. Like the transition is so well done that you will think that they're a girl, but there are some men out there that will transition and they still look disgusting. Like they look like a guy still,
100%.
and it's gross. But there's a lot of
Yep.
guys out there that, and that's what makes it scary though, because now I'm honestly to a point where, like, if I'm like scrolling on like Tinder or something, I become very skeptical, like, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like on Tinder, there are a lot of guys that transition that will put themselves as a girl on Tinder, which you guys need to stop that. Stop that. Stop. It's disgusting.
It's like, listen, do what you want, but be honest, man. Like, listen, I'll only judge you a little bit, but I will literally respect the fact that you're being honest, okay? Because some people are into that, okay? I'm not
True.
into that.
Very true.
I think it's disgusting. As long as you're honest, right? And some people don't care. Okay, great. But there's a lot of people that do care, and that can affect other people mentally, right? Because now they're questioning themselves. They're like, "Oh my god, like this is like uh, it messes with people's minds, right? If you lie to them and you do things with them, right? The best thing to do, be honest. Like I said, I'll only judge you a little bit, but I will greatly respect that you were honest with me, okay? And we can just go about our day.
I feel like that's a big thing too, because like, yeah, that's true. Being honest is true, because I feel like, let's say, especially in the world that we live in, where everything's online, it's so easy to fake who you
Oh,
are.
100%.
So if you're a guy that transitions to a girl, and then let's just put this into a hypothetical situation. This has never happened to me, thank goodness for now. But let's say that I was on Tinder or whatever, and I saw what I thought was a girl, and I was like, wow, really cute. And then I swiped right, and then
Oh
let's say we
man.
matched, and then they didn't say anything that they transitioned at all. All right, let's say that they did. Let's say in the beginning that, or honestly, I feel like they should just have that in their bio in general. But
Facts.
let's say that they did, and then in the message they're just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm transgender." I would be like, whatever you say, unfollow or whatever. I just not even talk to them. I'd be like, "Sorry, I am not into that. I want
Yeah.
to date a female." And then I would
real
just,
one.
I would, yes, a real one. Which I feel like that's a very big argument that a lot of them have, because a lot of them are so convinced, that we actually had this conversation at my job the other day where a guy was like, what if the male completely transitioned, he got the vagina, he got fake boobs or whatever, and then he mentally is also a female. Like, he really does believe that he's a female now, even though in the back of his head he knows he's a transgender. He really does believe that he's a female, so he feels that he should be able to just go out there as a female without having to even say that he's a transgender.
Yeah.
I feel like that doesn't matter. You were
Yeah,
still
it really
born
doesn't.
a male regardless. I don't care. And I think a big thing too is that they don't get the behavioral or mental differences until they actually start injecting hormones into them, because they actually do that when they transform. I think they go to the hospital or whatever, and then they get the female hormones injected into them so they can start getting the feelings of a girl, which is
Yeah.
you're kind of like a robot at that point, like a robot girl in a way.
Mm.
So it's going back to like what that person at my job was saying is that let's say that there's a man and he was dating said guy that transitioned into a woman, fully woman
Mhm.
at this point, mentally woman. Is it considered gay? And in my opinion, thinking about it, yes, that's still considered gay to me, because he was a guy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, he had a penis at one point.
Yeah.
You might have
He still is.
you might have had sex with that fake vagina, but in a way, you still kind of touch the penis with your penis because that vagina was made off of the tissue off of his penis.
Ah,
That is now a vagina. So it's very, it's a very weird thing, and more of them. Honestly, not even a lot of people are. I think in Texas or whatever, I think it's only like 1% that's like actually transgender, but that 1% is like 100,000 people. So technically, I think that is a lot of
yeah,
people.
it's definitely a lot of
That's definitely
people.
a lot of people.
And speaking on transgenders, do you think that uh a teen or younger than a teen should decide whether or not they want to transition? I personally say no. I think it's too young. Um, y- n- Kids don't know what they want. Okay. Um, Maybe some kids do, and they stick with that idea until they grow older. But I don't think that they should transition at a young age. I think it's stupid. They need time to really think about it, although I'm totally against transitioning, it's just not natural, it's not right. But yeah, I don't think kids should transition. It just doesn't make sense. Kids don't know what they want. They don't even know what they want for freaking dinner. They don't even know if they want to spend the rest of their life with some kid that they like, okay? They can't even finish their homework on time, okay? Like, dude, they they should not have um any say to transition at a young age. I think, once they hit 18, sure, you're an adult. I mean, whatever. I don't even think parents should allow their kids to transition at that age. I think 18, sure, if you want, you do you. Nobody can control you, but parents, young kids should not have a say in whether they should transition or not before the age of 18.
I feel like that
That's
was
my
a.
personal opinion.
I feel like that's a very good argument as well. That a lot of people say that there's like this whole conspiracy theory or whatever that people are. But I know it's kind of weird because talking about gender, it's it kind of coincides, I guess, with like if you're gay, because I feel like gay men or gay female. Well, sometimes I'll think that they have more of a feminine side,
Yep.
um, kind of deal. That's a very weird comparison to make, but like going back to like gender and like what you're saying that people, um, if little kids should decide if they want to transition or not when they're young, that's definitely something that they shouldn't do because it's true. Because what if they do it when they're young? Especially when you're at a young age, you have these phases. Like you go through these
Mhm.
phases. So like
Yes, you
maybe
can
you have this
instantly
weird,
regret it.
yeah, you have this weird phase where I don't know why you would have this phase, but you want to transition and you transition and then regret it later. Um, I feel like that's also kind of the argument when people say that they're born that way. Like, when people say, "Oh, I was born gay," but they don't
Yeah.
know until later because later is when they actually experience a lot of stuff and then they can like do that. It's kind of the same thing with gender, I guess, is that people think that maybe they were born female, but they were born with male parts and then they didn't
Mhm.
figure out until later. Like I remember that Steven Crowder thing. The woman was just like, she was like, now I understand why for 7 years I would always sneak and dress in my sister's clothes. And it's just like, you're weird, bro. You're so weird. Like, it's those situations that really make me think, like, what makes you just want to try on that dress? Like, I understand you're little, so you don't really know,
Yeah.
but it's just like,
I mean, like, I
what the
get
hell?
it, dude. Like, sure, kids have like this experimental phase. Like, they want to try things. Like, you know, when people tell you not to do certain things, you're gonna be more curious, right? You're gonna be more curious about that certain thing, and you want to do it, right? You just want to try it, right? But it's when like people start supporting it is when it becomes a problem. They're like, oh yeah, that's totally normal, go for it. Oh, you feel like a girl? You are a girl. Become who you think you are. You're experimenting. Oh, no, it's not experimenting. It's not curiosity. You are that thing. You want to do it because you are going to become whatever you're like. It's okay for, there's feminine guys, right? There's masculine women. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a line that shouldn't be crossed, right? Obviously transgenders is that line. Even homosexual and gays, but that's
A different
I
topic.
don't really have a strong I don't really have a strong opinion on that. I think transgender is like the
Whole
line
different level.
that shouldn't be crossed. I don't even think it should be supported in society. It's a mental issue that's being it's just being like supported more than it should. Um it's like you wouldn't go to a schizophrenic and say, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What you're experiencing is real. I see it too. I hear it too. That's perfectly normal." Right? No, you want to help them. You want to say, "Hey, it's okay. Here's some meds, okay, to take those voices out of your head and you're Gucci." Okay? Same thing with Tourette's, right? You don't start freaking flinching like a crackhead. You like, "Hey, I know what you're going through. You need help. Here's some meds." Now, I'm not saying meds are the answer to everything, but I think some people need some meds and it does help people. Um, Basically, my point is that we shouldn't be, uplifting transgenders and making them feel normal because it's not normal. We should be helping them see what's wrong with them and keeping them normal.
So in a hypothetical situation, right? Let's say that you're having a conversation with someone, right? And then they say that they're transgender. What would you do in that situation?
Huh? We say again?
If you were having a conversation with someone and then they tell you that they're transgender, what would you do?
Um,
Because
like,
like
what, like what?
what?
Like what? Like
so
do
all right, so
what exactly?
me personally, if I was having it doesn't, not necessarily in like if you're talking to them, right? I feel like that's a completely different situation. But like let's say, because at least trying to prove the point that despite our opinion that there is only male and female, which there is,
Mhm.
if I was having a conversation with someone in real life and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I transitioned this and that," right? Let's say it was a guy to a girl to a guy, whatever. They said, "Oh yeah, I
God damn.
transitioned this and that, blah blah." I'd be like, "Oh, wow, really? That's cool. So you were a guy
Yeah,
before, right?" It was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, that good for you." Like,
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like if they just, hey, I'm transgender. I mean, great, man. Like, but I'm not gonna call you by your pronouns.
that's another big topic right there, because that is apparently what many of these apparent. Which, by the way, let's stop, because I actually searched up. These are just, I guess, just some of the genders that people consider themselves. So there's transgender, there's gender neutral, there's non-binary, there's agender, pangender, genderqueer, two-spirit, third
Two
gender. I
spirit.
don't freaking know. Third
The frick
gender,
is this Naruto?
and all or none of these combinations. And there's all these other ones of seven genders where it says intersex, non-conforming, personal, whatever the frick a eunuch is. I don't know what the hell that means, but um, that's one of the biggest things where I guess there's a lot of people that transformed, or not even transformed, but they consider themselves non-binary, which I guess non-binary means that they don't identify themselves as anything. They don't identify
Yeah.
themselves or male or female. So those people apparently get really offended if you, let's say there's a girl that considers themselves non-binary, so they don't consider themselves a girl or boy. Even though she has a tits and vagina, but
Yeah.
despite that, she wants to be called by they or their. That's how they want to be pronounced. That's what they want to be used. They want to say, "Hey, they no, they are over there." Some they, even though or they, even though I think that's if there's like multiple, right? Like if they're
Yeah.
they, like they went this way, you're not a they. 'Cause you're only one person.
Mm.
But apparently that's a very big discussion, or I guess problem that a lot of people have, because they don't want to be called him or her. And I guess a lot of them will consider the fact that if, like, let's say you're having a conversation and then you go, oh, she's over there, and then she goes, hey, I'm not a she, I consider myself non-binary. Can you say it? Can you call me an it instead, or whatever? Like, it's just
Well,
like,
I'll call him an it.
it's like, if you want me to call you an it, all right, but I'm probably going to keep referring you as a she. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's probably it. And that was a big thing in
I
the Steven Crowder
yeah.
thing as well, where she was saying like, oh, so like you in the beginning you assumed that I was a female. Why? Like, did you look at them? Like basically saying, did you look at her boobs? It's like, did you look at them, this and that? Which, although yes, we are men, we look at probably every pair of boobs that we see because we're men.
I mean, if it's there, it's there.
It's there. It's there. A lot of you guys, the way you guys dress, you guys are just having them popped out. You kind of want us to look, but it's like, yeah, of course, yes. If I look at someone, or if I look at a girl, right? No, I do not look at her boobs, and then go, yeah, that's a girl. No, there's so much more. They literally just look like a girl. It's a bone structure thing. It's literally a lot of different things. Your eyes are different. Your nose is different. Your mouth is different. Your hair is different. Everything is different. Your
like
body, the way your body's
act.
built, everything. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Even
you
the
want
voice,
to
man.
if you want to try and argue like, oh, did you look at them? Yes, I did look at them because I'm a guy, male with a penis. I looked at your boobs. So yeah, like I don't understand why a lot of people get like so offended by it.
Mhm.
But that's kind of like the whole situation with that, where I guess they want to be accepted in a world that they're making it so complicated to be accepted, because you can't. It's kind of going like with male and female bathrooms, right? Are we gonna have a non-binary bathroom, right? Or if you consider yourself non-binary, non-binary, if you consider yourself non-binary, are you just allowed to walk in the men's bathroom? Are you just allowed to walk in the female bathroom? Like, what are females gonna do if you walk into a female bathroom? They're probably gonna scream and try and kick you out, right? It's not like you're just gonna be like, oh, don't worry, guys, I'm non-binary, I have a vagina, it's okay. They're probably still gonna freak out, like, because no matter what you consider yourself, in the beginning, as soon as someone looks at you, I don't care what transgender or whatever, you for a fact will think that is a guy or that is a boy. Everyone assumes instantly. There's not one person in this world that goes, oh, so what do you consider yourself? Even if you ask that question first, I promise you, inside your head, you probably still assume that it was a guy or a girl, just based off of what they look like.
Yeah.
Any water?
The whole bathroom situation, there should be obviously man and, female bathrooms. And then just like the one with the mixture. So whatever you are,
male,
just go in the
female,
third bathroom.
everyone else.
Yeah, literally. Like just a gender neutral. That's a gender neutral bathroom, okay? For literally anybody, if you want to go there, whether you're straight, gay, none of the above, both, whatever you identify as, a gender neutral bathroom for all. Problem solved.
So gender neutral, you consider yourself both, and then non-binary, you don't consider yourself either?
I have no.
No, I just searched that up. That was like, I guess, like the biggest differences, which is actually something I really wanted to touch up on, because this also happened in the I just stood up for that. That got me really excited. But I guess a lot of people argue, right? Because it even happened on the Steven Crowder thing, where he was saying that there's only male and female. One of the first questions that was asked was, "Are you Christian?" That was one of the first questions, and then he said yes, and then they were just like, "That makes sense." So I guess a lot of people are convinced that we believe that there's only male and female because of biblical standards, which I will say that I was raised Christian, so I guess that a lot of people make that argument where it's just like, oh, that makes total sense. You know what I mean? He was raised where there was only men and women and whatever, and in a religious standpoint, that's why we only believe there's male and female. Which, if you want to argue that, I mean, I guess that's kind of part of it because God did create male and female. I don't think God wrote in his book that he wanted a mix. I don't think he wrote in his book that he wanted a girl with a penis and a guy with a vagina. Pretty confident that he did not write that while he was writing the book or all the above. So I feel like a lot of people argue that, which it's a good argument. That makes sense. But no, it's just that there's male and female. There's
I mean, even scientifically,
exactly, biologically, it's like there's
like
only
you
two.
are born the way you are born. Okay, you are who you are. You can try to change that, but you're still always going to be who you are. You can paint a white wall, right? On the outside, it looks whatever color you painted, but it's still a white wall.
Interesting. Isn't it that every time you paint a room, it technically gets smaller? I don't know why.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because
well, I guess very. I guess.
No, that's like an actual fact.
Well, it's not gonna get bigger. And I can see, the layers of paint.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very small. It's definitely not noticeable. You probably have to paint your rooms like literally over 1 trillion times, and it still probably won't even look any different. But yeah, if you paint your room,
man, I should take all my paint out, and then my room would become a mansion.
All right. Getting off topic.
Anyways,
so yeah, going back to the gender thing. It's not really a complicated topic or a long topic to talk about, but it's a very, or I think it's a very simple topic.
There's a simple solution.
Simple, yeah, exactly. There's male and female. Period.
Yeah, and okay, and even if we still allow transgenders, right? A realistic solution, right? Be who you want, right? Be who you want. I can't change anything, right? But don't force other people to have the same ideals as you, right? You can express it. You can't force them on other people, right? You can't force me to say or call you certain names, okay? You can't force yourself into certain bathrooms, okay? If they make a separate bathroom for you, perfect. I think that'd be a great solution, right? A nice little safe space for you little trannies, okay? But male and female should always be separate. If you're gonna be a mixture, a little cyborg, all right, a little transformer, have your own bathroom. Okay, listen, I have no hate towards trans people. Okay, you do what you want, but don't affect my life or make me try to change my ideals to make you feel better. Okay, believe what you want. Believe what you want. Okay?
Transgenders, robots in disguise. Transgenders. You said Transformers,
and in this video isn't meant to, bully trans people. It's just our opinion. We just don't agree with certain things. We don't accept certain lifestyle choices and whatever, right? We just have different ideals, okay? If you have different ideals, don't hate on other people that have different ideals from you, all right? We can all live in the same world with different opinions and be accepting of each other, okay? It's great to be open-minded, but you don't have to change your opinion to make someone else happy, okay? And if someone has a different opinion than you, don't go out of your way and make them feel bad about it because there's probably a reason why they feel that way, okay? Everybody has a reason for what they believe in, okay? And at the end of the day, you can always disagree. Oh, what? You can always agree to disagree. Okay?
Agree to disagree. There was one thing, but I literally just kind of lost it in my head that I actually wanted to touch up on because I freaking brain farted and it left my mind because you started talking.
Oh, I should have said.
what I wanted to touch up on was still kind of on. I'm really just trying to refresh my mind right now. It was on genders, but it was more of um. Give me a second while I. Oh, in the meantime, while I actually try and figure out what the hell I was trying to say, if you guys are watching this video, you guys see that there's a time code. Reason for the time code is to basically prove, I guess, is our way of proving that this video is unedited. Because, sorry, I got a cough.
Yeah, you're gonna get all the raw footage,
Sorry, I have
raw
COVID.
audio footage of us breathing, dead silence.
Yeah, so basically the reason is because if you were to edit and you had a time code, the time code would actually reset per clip. If you add the time code to the actual clip, technically you can add it to a layer. But basically our way of proving that this is unedited, because
maybe we did edit it. You don't know.
Don't give them that idea. Jesus Christ. Trying to give our best to show that this is unedited, because edited things are stupid and bull crap. But man, I really wanted to say something else about the gender, but you made me, because we were talking about the bathrooms and we were talking about this, and then people were talking about this, and then
while you think, hey guys, we also have a Twitter if you want to follow us there. And if you have any recommendations on what topics you want us to talk about, listen, even if we have no knowledge of it, we'll do a quick Google search and share our thoughts, okay? Listen, this YouTube channel isn't meant to be taken seriously. We're just sharing opinions that we think on the top of our head with little to no research. We might research some. So if we sound ignorant in some topics,
because
that's
we
fine.
are.
Yeah, listen, it's not meant to take seriously, but we do have opinions and we want to share them, whether it's important or not, okay? But again, if you have any recommendations on any topics you want us to talk about, please put in the comments below. And if you prefer edited or non-edited, put that down below too. If you hate us, put that down below. If you love us, put that down below, okay? Yeah, did you figure out what you wanted to say?
No, I completely forgot. But I mean, well,
that's
it's kind of just
dementia.
yeah.
Joe Biden.
But it is just going back
Different
to the
topic?
thing. Our final conclusion to this is basically, you're a male, you're a male, you're a female, you're a female. If you have a penis, you have a penis. If you have a vagina, you have a vagina.
Two genders.
There's two
That's it.
genders. Stop
Male,
making things
female.
complicated. Go screw
If you think
yourself.
there's more,
Yeah, it's kind
go
of
in
going
the
back.
mirror.
Yeah, we don't
Look at
necessarily.
yourself naked.
Yeah, we don't.
What are you?
We're not trying to purposely offend anybody, but we just know that this is a topic that
Maybe a little bit.
a lot of people. Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of people do definitely take offense to it, especially you non-binary confused people. But it's more of kind of just giving our opinion, even though it definitely will offend some of you guys. There's male, there's
Take
female,
a
female.
break from being offended.
Yeah, if you believe that there's more than that, something's wrong with you, and you need to get
all you
yourself
internet
checked out.
warriors. Here is the place to relax. You know, you don't have to be offended 24/7. You don't have to send those long paragraphs every day of your life. You're not getting money. You're not getting paid for it. Stop.
That's another thing too that I feel like we're trying to end this, but like I keep bringing stuff up.
I feel like a lot of keep it going. I feel like it's off topic.
I feel like a lot of people really. I feel like at this point, since these people are trying to make things so complicated with so many different genders, because technically, I can go ahead if we're gonna go off to with like the whole gender thing, right? I can technically say that I identify as an iguana, and you're gonna have to believe me. Because
I think you can identify as an animal in the whole LGBTQ plus alphabet.
Yeah, which is so weird. Because like, if we're going off like this whole gender thing and like gender identity, you don't identify as anything. Technically, that means that I can identify myself as anything as well.
They do have an alphabet. Holy crap!
I am a coffee mug.
Did you see what I see right now is there's LGBTQI LGBTQQIAAP. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual. What? What's the difference? Queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, pansexual. What about cisgender, huh? The straight people. Come on, man. Oh wait, let me see. Yeah, I gotta find I'm sure there's more to this alphabet. You think they're gonna teach kids LGBTQ alphabet someday in schools?
God,
All
dear,
right,
hope
guys.
not.
After you learn the main alphabet, we're learning the LGBTQ
Q
alphabet.
alphabet. I feel like that's definitely gonna be a big thing if schools don't just become permanently online. But I feel like that might be a big thing that might come in school, like events that support. That's a that's a that's a thing though, because
Dude, sex ed,
it's,
man.
oh my god, this is such it's just so it just feels so ridiculous to actually kind of have these conversations, because people are just making it so much more difficult instead of
Yeah.
just saying that you're male and female. Like, God, stop making it so hard. Kind of going back to the thing of me identifying myself, right? It's like people can't necessarily argue with that, but who who will really identify themselves as an iguana? If I go to somebody and they say, "Oh no, I identify as a cheetah," or I'm gonna be like, "Excuse me." I'll be
Dude, there
like,
was a girl raised by dogs.
"What?
Yep. Um, Damn, is there a way we can clip in a
Why'd you
video?
identify her as a girl? This is 2021.
Um,
She's
girl,
clearly a dog.
raised by dogs. Pretty sure, dude. Yo, I found her. Okay, her name is
Her?
Oksana. Yes, it's a freaking girl raised by dogs. Oksana Malaye.
Oksana Malaya. Oh, well, maybe. How? See. This is what a lot of people will argue. Why are we identifying her as a girl when she was clearly raised by dogs? Maybe the dogs think that she's an actual dog.
Probably, dude.
She walks like
Oh
them. She eats
man,
like
I
them.
remember watching this video a while ago. Jesus
I don't even
Christ.
know this is a thing. It's kind of weird. How do you survive
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Oh, snap.
I don't even know how.
Started playing a video. Sorry. Girl raised by dogs. Oksana Malaya. That is just dude. How? How does this situation even happen?
I really don't know. I think I saw it in high school. I think they showed us a video in high school.
She was raised by dogs. So what does
Yep.
that mean? Because clearly she's wearing clothes, right? So
Yeah.
she's got to
She
live in
couldn't
some
be
sort of household.
fully raised by dogs.
Yeah, exactly. She definitely lives in some sort of household. I don't know if the parents, when she was born, they're just like, oh, just let the dogs take care of her.
Yo.
And then while we go out on vacation or something. But that's just weird.
Even on TikTok, like some freaking I haven't seen any guys dress up as animals jumping around, but I've seen a couple girls that dress up as animals jumping and like running like a dog or a fox or whatever.
They're like actually pretending to be a dog.
Yeah. Dude, there was this one video where this girl had it on slow-mo to see how high she could jump like a fox or something. With like all intense music in the background, and the comments were mixed for sure. Some supporting, some just like, what's going on here? Man, I think America being too accepting is a problem.
I mean, America is basically a laughing stock right now.
I would say bring bullying back, but we do have a sense of bullying, and it's cancel culture, and it's not directed towards the right people. So, yeah. Like, cancel culture would be great. if
Cancel
it was
culture is a
directed
different kind of
towards
culture, to be
bad
honest.
people.
I feel like the people that live there, because clearly the internet is definitely a dark place. It's definitely a good place too. I really only see the good side of the internet because all I see is good stuff on the internet. Because the
Yep.
negative stuff, honestly, is kind of like ridiculous. I don't really see
So stupid.
I don't really see why so many people in this world are so attracted to negative information. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what we're taught. Like the
I'm so
news,
angry.
news only shows negative stuff. Social media, anything that pops up first is probably something negative. A lot of people like to gossip or talk crap on their social media pages and stuff like that. And so many people are attracted to that because the only way someone can actually have any focus is when it's something negative. If things are too positive, people will literally get bored. Like people will literally get bored. Like, oh yeah,
I
this
feel
is
like it's gotten worse throughout like COVID
for
and like
sure.
lockdowns. People's been super bored. That's all
Oh,
they
for
want to do:
sure.
argue, cancel people. Like, Jesus Christ.
Everyone's stuck in their house, so everyone's like kind of going crazy, getting so like angry at everything. I don't really understand why people find it so satisfying. Like, why do you just like to go and just see people's problems? Like, I feel like people are either like extremely insecure or
It's pretty weird. Like the amount of things people get offended over. Like just the littlest things, man. Things like you won't even expect. Things that like it doesn't even cross your mind, and then someone's complaining about it, and then you have like all these other people like just jumping in, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, stop it. What the frick? And
Yeah, right.
cultural
The
appropriation?
instant support group
Oh,
trying
don't
to
even get
back
me
them up.
started. Don't even get me started. Cultural appropriation, bro. Cultural appropriation is the stupidest thing I've ever freaking heard.
Cultural
Like,
appropriation.
wearing something from someone else's culture, right? People find that so disrespectful. Okay, you go to where the culture originates from. You can buy it off the freaking street, off a market, and they're gladly selling it because you're spreading their culture. They enjoy that. It makes them happy seeing that their culture is being spread across the world. But no, we Americans cry because we're not fitting in our status quo. Like, just because we come from somewhere means we have to dress like that. We have to stay in our lane. We can't do anything. So stupid.
I feel like
It's so stupid.
I feel that's a very good topic to have on like another podcast, like that the culture differences and like even like racism and stuff like that. I feel like that would be a really good topic to have or to
I
conversate
feel
about.
bad for white people. I feel bad.
In what way?
Because, bro, they can't do anything. They can't say anything. They cannot have an opinion because of their color unless they're supporting the majority, right? If they have a different opinion from anything from if they have a different opinion from the liberal side, they get hate. They get hate because if they speak, okay, you're white, you don't have an opinion. You can't say anything because you're white. Your ancestors did this, you're white, you can't do anything. You're wearing someone else's culture, you're white. That's even worse. You're canceled. You're white, Christian, and straight. Jesus, dude, get out of the internet.
That definitely makes more sense. That white people are definitely in more of a hotspot because they're
Oh
kind
my
of
god,
blamed.
dude. Okay, something came up. Do you think white people experience racism?
Then everyone experiences racism.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
White
but
people can experience racism from any race.
no.
Black,
So
Asian,
here's my opinion
Hispanic.
on that specific topic. White people definitely do experience racism. Definitely far less than other races. But I feel like this is just my personal preference. I feel like the reason why white people get racism is more of kind of like a throwback because racism definitely started with other races. I don't think racism started equally. For a fact, I feel like racism definitely just started against black people, especially with like the past and stuff like that. And I feel like now we live in a world where racism is definitely still very big.
100%.
Where I feel like now we're at a point where I feel like some people might even feel forced to be racist in order to defend their own race, if that makes sense.
Okay, I
I
can
feel like that's how a
see
lot of
that.
people, like, I feel like, especially like, let's say like a black person or something, right? Let's say that um let's say that a black person, let's say that they're just enjoying their day, they're just having fun and stuff like that, and then they see a white person look at them and make like a weird snotty face, right? Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
that. I feel like that black person would instantly feel defensive or like anger towards that person, and like maybe in their head be like, oh, white piece of trash. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of how like a lot of things play out nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, with it, I feel like people are just so defensive now because there's a lot of things that still happen within our world that revolve around racism. Which sucks. I wish it didn't exist.
Dude,
That's
racism shouldn't even exist right now because
especially
we've
in the
passed
accepting times that we live in right now. This is actually a conversation. Let me
literally.
just bring this up. This is gonna sound maybe bad, but that is very true. So a big thing is, I personally feel the reason why we have so much racism still is not because of our generation. If you guys didn't know, the people watching, we're averaging around 20 years old to 22 years old, all of us. So we're all within that generation of growing up to accepting all these things. I feel that the reason why there's so much racism in the world is not because of our age group. I feel like it is the older age group that is still bringing stuff back from the past, that is still making it a thing nowadays. Like, I feel like a lot of parents are just like, especially the racist parents, are feeding that into their child, making their child racist as
Mm.
well. I feel like, me personally, I feel like 50 years from now, when all these dumbasses are dead, the older people, I feel like racism will actually subside a little bit. I feel like we're definitely
Yeah,
going
a
into the
little
right
bit.
direction.
For sure. I don't think it'll go away because the older generation is passing it down to their kids,
Yeah,
right? And saying, "Oh, these people are racist." So like you have to be racist back in a way, right? Giving them the stereotype in their head like, "Oh, all these people are racist. They hate you, blah blah blah." Like have that anger towards them, okay? And then they grow up having this like anger towards these certain people and then I mean, I don't know how like what can make them not racist, right? Or have kind of fix their mentality on like the certain race that they grew up to hate, right? They just have to have that one good encounter. But even if some people do have that good encounter, they still have that stereotype in their head like, "Oh, well, maybe some of them aren't, but most of them are," which also is probably not even true because racists aren't like they're not as common as they used to be. If anything, I do think they are fading out, but there's people that continue to keep racism going, and I don't think there's a lot of racism, but people are starting to use like racism
as an
like
excuse.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
using racism for everything. Everything, anything that happens, racism. But there's really not a lot of racism going on, but they just keep blaming racism or like saying that people are racist because their political views or what they look like or what they say or who they hang out with. They not everybody's racist. I don't even think the majority of America is racist. I don't even think America itself is racist. We might have some racist problems. We might have some racist issues, but America is not racist, and I think it's a really good country for foreigners to come into and live a good freaking life
that's
and
a
blend with other cultures and other
that's a
people.
big thing too, cause yeah, I me especially with like where I work, not revealing any information about what I do as my
Oh
job,
yeah, here's that address.
um, but in my job, at least particularly, I feel that my job has a lot of racist people
Mm,
for a fact. My job is covered in a way. We got a lot of Hispanics there and stuff, but for the majority, is more white people. Especially with the field that's in, I feel like it's very common. But especially because the company that I work for is very conservative. But there was this one coworker that I had, where we were having this conversation, right? And then I guess they were talking about real life situations as to how they want to allow more immigrants in to the US or whatever and allow them to get like welfare and stuff like that so they can get paid. And a lot of people at my job are happy about that because that means that we'll get like more taxes taken out for them. You know what I mean? So like we'll losing more money just so they can live and not work. You know, they don't have to work and stuff like that. Which I can understand. I can understand why people would get mad about that. But the thing with what my coworker said was that because she has boobs, she's a female.
Yes.
Just want to put that out there.
So
she was
female.
Yeah, she's a she, right? She was born a female. So she said that they don't even know why they're letting these people make the decisions because apparently the people that are making the decision, I don't know the ethnicity, but it's the people that wear like the I don't know what it's called, like the thing on their head.
Muslims?
Like the towel kind of thing, like a I don't know what it's called.
Damn, I don't want to say it offensively.
I don't want to
look like terrorists.
Yeah, those. So like that, right? I guess the people that are making the decision were the people that was wearing that. I don't know what it's called, but they're wearing that.
I think it's I can look it up right now.
Topa?
Yeah, just keep
Topa?
keep going.
So
Is it like
Topa? So
so turban.
There you go. So she was saying that they don't know why they're letting these people with the turbans make the decisions. And then she said, and I quote, "Those towel heads need to go back to their country and make their decisions over there." That's exactly what she said, word to word. And when I heard that, I was like, wow, you are so racist. That's racist right there. That is for a fact racist. And I felt so uncomfortable when she said that. Like, I was just like...
And that wasn't even joking. That was like just dead serious.
She was serious. She does not like these people, especially because she was, when she grew up, she was in the military. And that's a big thing about it. I don't know why they have a problem with these people because I guess they think that all these people are like secret spies or whatever, and they're trying to get like information or something. But she literally every time she sees them, she says, "I don't." It's like those other times she'll be like, "I don't like the way that towel head was looking at us." Like just like yeah, it's black. So like weird, bro. Like it's just like why do you have to be like that? Like I think there's only two genders, but I definitely accept other races. Other races like. Sure. That's just like, that's just like that really makes you feel a little uncomfortable. And yeah, I could have definitely spoke up and been like, yo, that's not right, this and that, blah, blah. This is my job and I need to get my check. And the last thing I'm going to do is put myself in a situation where I can get fired. So I just kind of got my mouth shut and I was just like, she's definitely one of those people that her mind can't get changed. That's just
Wait, why? Is she like a upper person? Well,
no, but like, our boss was in there at the time and stuff like that. So it's like I'm not gonna even bother and stuff like that. But it's stuff like that that's just like, but where I come in, where I feel like the older people are just like really just
damn, bro,
like,
no filter,
hell, bro. Like, jeez, like why do you have to be like this?
Oh my god.
So it's definitely still a pretty sensitive topic for sure. In this world that we live in, but I still don't. I feel like racism will eventually come to an end because of our generation. Because despite the fact that parents can feed racism into their children, we do live in a generation where if someone is racist, someone is gonna speak up and someone is gonna defend themselves. We live in a world definitely that I feel like we live in a. It's weird to say because I feel like with the internet and social media and stuff, people are very defensive on certain topics, but I still feel like we still live in a weakish world. It's very weird to even compare that. But when it comes to like these topics, people will get extremely defensive and people will come together, which is why I feel like people do become defensive because they know that there are hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, that will back them up on this topic. So they're not afraid to speak up. I feel like that's a big reason why we're in the right direction to end it because we live in such a area where you can reach out to so many people so quickly where they're not afraid to speak up because they're just like, oh yeah, I gotta say this. Boom, everyone starts like sharing it, giving their opinion, supporting it.
Yeah,
But
ideally it would be nice, but I don't think racism will ever go
it
away.
definitely won't 100% go away for a fact. But I feel like there is a time where it'll subside
Yeah.
tremendously.
It is what it is, but I mean, as long as racism never becomes like a problem that it used to be in America. I mean, obviously, there's still there's a lot of racism issues in other countries that still need fixing. But I mean, I feel like once we get to the point where racism is like, here and there, whatever, I think we'll live in a pretty decent world for sure. But again, like other countries have a lot of issues that they need to fix themselves. I think America right now is pretty good. Obviously it's not perfect. Like there's a lot of issues we got to fix, including racism and like the whole law enforcement, stuff, and even private businesses too. Private businesses, um, their issue with some sexism and racism in there, because actually no, I'm sorry, that's another topic. I'm gonna stop. That's another topic.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a good conversation to have. Definitely got
sure.
extremely off topic in like the last 25 minutes there, but it's fine. So,
Freak it.
yeah, definitely. Let us know what you guys think about this podcast.
Yep.
If you guys do enjoy what we're talking about, or like we said 30 minutes ago, if you guys have any more suggestions to what to talk about, definitely let us know in the comments below. Let us know your opinion on the whole gender topic, and if you agree or disagree with us, or even racism itself, and what you guys feel about that as well. But our minds will not be changed on the specific topic of gender. There's only male and female. That is it.
Something just came up. Dude, I would love in the future if we have like a dark humor segment, right? Where we just read a bunch of dark humor.
I'm down.
Oh, that would be so fun.
That'd be
Okay. While we mukbang.
Oh my god.
Get that crisp. But yeah, so you can call me Alpha, and over here we got Charlie. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was Talking Nonsense.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Now, get off.
Remember, we got a Twitter.
Get off. Bye. Leave. Now.
Oh.
You're gross. I'm kidding. All right.